Hey friends, hey, I thought I'd give you an early garden management, some stuff that I like to do, maybe that you would like to do it as well. Definitely need to keep up on the weeds. My favorite thing to do, it's actually one of my favorite things to do, is to come out in the garden and always constantly work up the ground to get rid of all the little weeds before they take root or spread seed. Just constantly working up the ground. It gives oxygen to the plants. And then allows the aeration in the soil too, and then so that it doesn't get compacted, so that when you do go ahead and fertilize, it can soak through the ground if the ground is already worked up and much softer. So speaking of fertilizer, here's a couple of the fertilizers that I like to do. So you're probably going to be planning on doing some fertilizing coming up in the next couple of weeks. You can do some liquid and you dilute this. This is Alaska fish fertilizer. Or you can do some granules as well, some garden tone. So it's up to you. I like to go back and forth between the two and give a little bit to each a couple times throughout the garden growing season. All right, so another garden management thing I like to do is to always walk around your garden at least every other day, because you can really catch the pests that are going on, or if anything needs to be staked up, or if there's any issues going on. And one in the early beginning of June, after you've planted something and you've gave it like 2 weeks and then nothing's popped up yet, I like to go ahead and dig in the soil just to see if the seeds are starting to open up and spread open. If they're not, then they need to be replanted, because our garden season is pretty short. So I had some zucchini that I planted on 6/2, and it's been 12 days, 13 days since I did it. They're not going to come up. So I'm going to go ahead and replant this. I just got a couple plants that I just need to replant right here. So what I like to do is, these are old canning lids, and so I save them, and then I just go ahead and mark what I planted, what kind of seed I planted, and what date I planted, so that I can remember when I'm walking around out here going, hey, should those seeds be popped up yet or not? And if they're not, and I can't find them, then they're going to get replanted. So I'm going to replant a couple zucchini right here. Now this is celery right here. I got some pink celery. I went and used my garden Velcro around just to kind of give them some support as they start to grow. Keep the stalks together even though they're nice and small right now. Go ahead and start pounding in whatever support system you're going to be using for your tomatoes, cages or trellises or however else you're going to use it. I got poles here. I've got hog panels over there for the other tomatoes. So you got to get those going in and start giving them some support. So that's what I like to do in the early management of the garden in June. Make sure you stay on top of those weeds. You don't want them to overtake. You want to give all the plants enough time to grow, and then you can let the weeds take over a little bit. But right now it's good to get on top of it. And then we go ahead, that's the watering system that we use. It does half the garden. Then we move it over here to the other half. 1 to 2 times a week. And you want to get the soil about at least an inch down for wetness. And you can do a test. So you can run it for an hour, dig your finger in there, see if it looks like it has been thoroughly wetted down about an inch, and then you can shut it off, and then you kind of know your timing. Of course, it depends on what time of day you're doing it. Morning is always best before the sun starts to evaporate it off. Nighttime, if you have to do it, you can, but sometimes that can propagate or add to the mold issues because of the nighttime. So that's what I like to get out here and do in the early June. So let me know what else you guys are doing in your gardens right now. All right, thanks.